asked about Zinfantias in Nigeria. One is half Ukrainian. Half Ukrainian, half Nigerian. His best friend is half Polish, half Nigerian. And then he has a friend who's just recently moved to Seattle, right? That's Michael, who's half Russian and half Nigerian. So all of the different mixes that he grew up with. He showed us a picture actually. He has a twin brother, and then his best friend who's half Polish. And so he was when they were all 16. Yeah, it's funny. Like 16-year-olds. But we're talking about how interesting it is all of the different mixes. What they look like. Katya, who you met, Fola, she's Creole and Cajun. So Creole from Louisiana is in essence like African and French, and then Cajun is just acts long Louisiana, I guess. And so she has an interesting mixture as well. And then that means all of these races coming together. So.
I know. Well, the world is changing. Yeah, I know exactly what you just said. I mean, I think you said,
That's not exactly right. You're still moving.
No, you're doing just fine. You're doing perfectly fine. My mind is all done. You know what I mean? So I have a sense of how many should be, but not number, just quantity in my mind.
So would you get fitting now for specific, and for each outfit it be different kind of fitting?
Yeah. For each, like this, what we're doing now is this way.
And we have about 8 different collections that are going to show.
Yeah. So this is one part of the show, then there's another part, and another part, and another part. So each one you're changing clothes. This is all different.
What He's gonna bring his friend next time. He's half Russian, half Nigerian.
Yeah.
So
Don't they? Wasn't there a documentary on half black, half Russian? The documentary
there was. It was specifically about Afro-Russians though. So half African, half Russian living in Russia. It was. We wanted to get it, but it was $300 for some reason for this DVD, and so we had to pass. I'd have to look it up.
They have a Facebook page. Have a Facebook.
In the Facebook universe, everything exists. I was saying we have a global village. It's Facebook. Valeria is ready to sign up to the global village. My daughter, she's 12. She's like, Mom, I want to be on Facebook. I said, why? All my friends are there. I said, okay, and you're going to spend more time on computer? She's playing games on Facebook. No, I'm just going to communicate. I said, well, we'll see how it goes. Let's do this. So she's going to do it. She said she wants to connect with international kids, so how can I say no to that? She's like the whole Japanese culture. I took her to Japan when she was 9. Yeah, 9 years old, and she just fell in love. Yeah, so she wants to live in Japan. She dreams of having business there. She's like she already sees her house there.
She's already like planning her
yeah, she's like planning her life in the mountains, very secluded area. She loves the whole idea of Japanese architecture and the hot springs and the sushi, of course, and the magma. And she wants to be a designer. Draw magna designs. We'll see. I think it's excellent. I love Japanese culture, so I can understand her love.
Lumi, a friend of mine, is half Japanese, half Nigerian.
Oh, here you go. that's a wonderful comment.
Half Japanese, half
Nigerian.
Lumi,
That's cool. It must be very beautiful. Yeah, can you imagine? Mixed people are so beautiful always. You're going for it, huh? Burst of flowers. How long you been in Seattle?
4.5.
Okay, it's just recently. Seattle's changed so much. It used to be very homogeneous, all white. I was here in 1990. I came 21 years ago. And I cannot tell you how much it changed, especially East Side.
Especially
East Side, yeah. Bellevue, Renton, all the Redmond, all this area, especially, yeah. But even in Seattle, too, it used to be just white, like white America. And now it's not anymore. It's really wonderful to see that change. They used to have one opera house where very old, like 1970 construction. Everything was happening there. People would come in jeans, the sports shoes, to their opera house. I was so shocked. I remember. Yeah, it was interesting experience coming to the city. Okay, but it's not anymore. This is great. So it's actually called Black Russians. It's a feature-length documentary that investigates the lives of contemporary Afro-Russians aged 10 to 65, born and raised in Soviet Russia. Their experiences chronicle two ideological currents that have shaped major international events in the 20th century: race and communism. Intimate interviews with a poet, a film producer, a reggae artist, a businessman, and others, all Black and all Russian, guide us through the story of promise and non-discrimination. Archive images reveal rarely seen footage of Black political leaders in the Soviet Union, like like Raul Robeson, Kwame Nkrumah, and Angela Davis. More than a decade after the fall of communism, a new Russia struggles to steady itself in the wave of nationalism from within and the pressures of global capitalism from without. Black Russians constructs a deeply personal account of the effects of political issues such as migration, identity, and the loss on a minority community in the vast remains of the Soviet Union. They have the trailer on YouTube, and it's really sad. One of the boys talks about rubbing his face raw because he wanted to have pink cheeks like all of his friends, like all of his Russian friends, but he couldn't because he was dark skinned, and so he went and literally rubbed his cheeks raw. Yeah, it's really interesting because they speak about how there was supposedly no racism in the Soviet Union, but it was completely racist, you know, and it was all just really kind of swept under the rug, much like Pushkin's African roots are kind of swept over a lot of the time.
Well, it's not studied, you know, it's not talked about. It's mentioned. Some people are surprised when I tell them that, you know, Pushkin was African, half African. They say, what? Yeah, he wasn't white. His hair was African, his skin was dark, and his grandfather was from Ethiopia.
Actually, I was just reading about it. He was from around Cameroon, but he was one of the most well-respected military generals.
Yeah.
He survived 4 TSARs.
Yeah.
And worked his way up. He was granted royalty, properties, all kinds of things.
Well, he was raised with Peter the Great children and educated as Peter the Great children. So he became very successful general. But yes, you're right. The racism did not exist as a political campaign because politically proletariats of all countries should unite. So, but at the same time, racism is huge in Russia against blacks because it's just
really, to meet Russians here, white Russians, they're incredibly racist. I'm very fair-skinned. They're racist against me.
Yeah.
You know. It's interesting to see how ingrained that idea.
It's a Soviet, all Soviets, right? Not Russians, but Soviet people from Soviet Union. They're very racist.
Yeah. They're very close, right? I mean, because of the form of government, right? We didn't have a lot of exchange. We didn't have a lot of. I know when I go to Czech Republic, pre-Czechoslovakia, then communist time too. And even now, when you move from Prague and go into the little city, people look at you and you're convinced I'm black like Michael Jordan.
Oh, really?
You know, and then I come from Nigeria and they're convinced I'm white like, I don't know. So I'm like, yeah. You know, I remember my cousins, small town, to go see them, we're having fun, and you know, kids are generally innocent. You have to kind of brainwash people. Kids are just kind of, you know, go with the flow. And we're just playing on the street and what have you, and then the old lady was like, come upstairs. There are niggas downstairs, you know. And it's like, Grandma, shut up. You know, go to your room.
It's funny when Russians come, the first thing they're being told in their English classes not to call black people niggers. And they're so surprised. They say, why? But they are. How are we supposed to call them niggers? I said, they call them black. Oh, and in Russian it sounds черный. Black is черный. So they call blacks черный, but with distaste in their mouths.
What about gypsies? What's the relationship?
Gypsy, oh.
Czech is the worst with gypsies.
Czech versus gypsies.
Czech is the worst. I mean, they have strong aversion, hate, misunderstanding about gypsies and what have you.
Oh, really?
I mean, they almost didn't let them into the EU because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, they have. And because they have the EU citizenship now, and we could go to Canada without visa. So a lot of gypsies, a lot of people just came and just went and just fled to Canada. So they kind of closed up, and now we need visa to go to Canada. But I argue with my family there. I'm like, explain to me what was gypsy. To me, it's like a white or black thing.
Right,
To me,
absolutely.
or explain to me why. You know, you get gypsies that are adopted, and then those on the street. You know, there's a problem, but you know, the problem is not, you know. And yeah, I have heated discussion about that.
Yeah. Russians are very.
What did they say?
Well, it's supposed to be nomadic people.
Yeah.
They try to put them in the house. Communism came because, you know, you can't own horse, you can't own cattle or anything. The communists there, right? So I didn't want to be domesticated, and that, you know, they call them Tsigani.
Tsigani, yeah. Tsigani in Russian, admired from one point of view because of their art, because of their music, but at the same time looked down upon as almost waste of society. And, yeah.
All over Europe. When I was in Spain, we were spending some time with a friend of my brother's, and we're looking at the river. I said, "Can you swim in the river?" And he goes, "Only gypsies swim in the river, and they do it to bathe." Like,
Yeah,
with that same
disdain.
like,
Yeah, disdain.
No one likes gypsies.
Right. Well, we were always told when I was a child to stay away from gypsies. They'll come steal you, they'll come steal your things, they'll come steal everything that you have and fool you around. And, you know, of course they did. I mean, they lived up to their reputation because that's how people are. If they're put in this condition, they will steal, because what else are they going to do? But their culture was going against the Soviet ideology. Because as a human being, you must live in one place, you must have a family, you must have your job, you know, your card, your social security number, all of that. Same,
For the state.
you know, you cannot just be a free-spirited individual who wants to roam around and live their life the way they want to live. Who said they can't? They've been doing it from century to century. That's what they do. They go through their own transformation. They're people. I was always.
I met one girl that was half Czech, half gypsy. That you could tell she spoke the language well. She was well-to-do. She was a bartender somewhere, you know. But she was exception.
Right,
like that.
right. Well, you know, gypsy remind me of native Indians. Same condition. People who've been basically ran to the corner, you know, and pushed to the corner, and they stayed there. They have not developed naturally because they've been pushed to the corner so much. So it's a very sad condition. But
when you're working on your night moves, it's just better on springs. Whatever you do in bed, CD supports it.
Things are changing.
Interesting campaign for the mattress company. Whatever you do in bed, CD supports it. Now, things are changing. Again, it's inevitable with all of the mixes that are coming out, globalization, with the new generations that are being brought up in a world where there are less borders.
Yeah.
Mentally, start with mental borders, you know, thanks to travel and globalization. Things are changing. Slowly, it seems changing in the US.
that's cool. Are there gypsies in America? I don't think so. They never made it. Are there? Yeah, you've seen.
Yeah, actually, I have an acquaintance, I guess, her family those are neo-gypsies, I guess you could call them. They kind of move around the states.
News.
But it's different, you know. They've lost that what we generalize as the gypsy lifestyle of actually being nomadic because it's harder to do in the States. You can't really roam freely like you can
No.
do in other countries. So, yeah, you know, they pride themselves on gypsy heritage for sure. So the girl also that I knew especially, but I think she just kind of liked the style. She's like, I'm gypsy. Dressed like a gypsy.
Really? Well, they need to reinvent themselves. They cannot be old gypsies and continue live the way they live. You know, it's 21st century.
Well, and didn't Muhammad say
He dated a girl.
He fell in love with a girl.
Yeah.
Who was a gypsy. Her parents.
Yeah.
They had come from Italy, and you know he really wanted her to move out here. I guess Muhammad is his partner, and I don't know what ended up happening, but she wouldn't leave her family. You know, the family ties were very strong. So I think they were living. They moved to Florida and then moved back to New York.
Yeah, Chicago, I think. Sweetie, you can always enter.
My mom used to do. My mom used to make clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
you
she had.
just fit it on you like this?
No, not really. I just used to look at her doing it. So she had the single brother magazine, the pedal, and she had the threads with the chalk and she would run patterns and things like that. So yeah, and she's a mathematician and physicist. That's what she has, like her degree.
That's cool.
And she always knows how to get the most out of a piece of cloth.
Right.
Because she knows the maths behind it. My mom was like, but no, if you have 1 yard, and she goes on, I don't know. Very simple. She was strong, you know, Czech Nigerian accent. She's like, but, and the guy will now reply, but madam, I don't understand. She said, no, if you have 1 yard plus another yard, you know, she keep on going like, she's very unskilled in that sense, right? You know, I'm driving. So I started driving when I was like 14, 15. So my mom has high blood pressure, off the Lagos traffic. My dad doesn't cut corners too low with eyesight. So like, you know, you guys are going to help out. He's going to be driving at an early age. A lot of things happen in Nigeria. And I'm driving my mom. Like, my mom, where do I park the car? She's anywhere. Okay. Anywhere, right? Alright. Not go and park. She said, yeah, she's Maria. Why did you park near the dustbin? You're near the dustbin. You're 5 feet near the dustbin. And I said, anywhere. She always, and my dad is like, anyway, park anywhere, it's fine with him. You know? Or we'll go to the market and it's like, my dad will go and buy some potatoes, some tomatoes. And my mom is like, how much for 1 kilo? $2 for 1 kilo. Per kilo is how much? Half a kilo should be going, should be pricing, you know, it has a little bit of. And I goes there and is like, don't cheat me here. I'm buying some tomatoes. How much for that? And he's like, okay. I say, well, is that your best price? And then he gets it and he comes back. And he's like, I said, I got the tomatoes. He said, how much for 1 kilo? Oh, I don't know. You told me to get tomatoes and I got tomatoes and you're asking me how much for 1 kilo. If you wanted to know, why did you go and buy it yourself? So you're a big man now, you have money, okay? So I don't stress myself with certain things. Everybody has their own. You know, but my dad knows how to write English. You can write to the queen, to the this, you know, because father was a lawyer and emphasis on English, Queen's English. So English was a big thing. So I mean, tells you to read stuff off medications. He's an analytical chemist. Yeah, he got his PhD in Czech Republic with that.
Huh.
So he knows. Chemistry is his thing. You know, he works for the EPA and things like that. But he's good at English. If you can't read something, he's like, yeah. Well, my dad's right.
Are your parents in the United States?
No. My mom is now with my brother in DC with my twin brother. And my dad is in Nigeria. So my dad comes to visit. Healthcare is better in terms of something my mom is going through. So she's my twin brother in DC altogether. So yeah. My dad should be coming sometime this year. I don't know when. But yeah. My dad is actually your complexion or my complexion. My dad has, which is abnormal. My dad has some pigmentation problem with his skin. So he turns out to be light skin, like his hair is blonde, like albino, then his beard is like brown, like mine.
Wow.
And then his eyesight is fine, but he's old now, so he doesn't have problem with the sun, but now he just wears glasses and protects himself. So he doesn't have the albino gene, he just has fair pigmentation skin. So that offsets. So people see him and they know that I'm mixed sometimes, so they think that he's the white one. And they're surprised when they see, you know. Yeah.
And your mom, how does she look?
My mom, brunette, I think, yeah. She's quite, so I think she looks, yeah. I'll show you a picture. Yeah.
So she is from what city?
She studied in Olomouc, but she,
Which one?
Olomouc.
Olomouc.
Olomouc is what she studied. So it's Prague, Olomouc, then Brno.
Three main cities.
But she is from Szczecin, which is close to more of the Slovak border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've been to Prague. It's a beautiful city. But it's funny, you know, as soon as you leave the center, the tourist block, you get into the Soviet area. You start seeing pieces of meat exposed in the glass containers right in the window with the flies roaming around, you know, things like, but not anymore probably. It was maybe 5-6 years ago when I went. But it's the center is very beautiful. Yeah. What a fresh approach. Beautiful.
I love this style.
And with the pants and the shoes.
And the hat, the whole outfit works together. I was just telling you that I love this style. The shirts. How do you feel?
Good. I'm managing the back. I'm getting better with my week. And when you saw me out,
Cool.
Do you see the back? You need it in here. It's beautiful. Nice. I like it with that.
So I can see that you are allowed for my shoulders.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And it doesn't talk up.
Yes.
You know, it's something I have problem with.
Yeah, because they don't cut shirts like that. Because you have
Broad shoulders, yeah. I have a problem with that.
And it's also holding you, you know, this line's more close to your body, so it's tension, creates tension to hold your body together in a core, where you want, right, to hold yourself. So this short shows holds you there. Core strength, yeah, perfect.
I love the style of the men's shirts that taper in the back.
Yeah.
That gives form to the men's figure. Because everything has been so rectangular for so long that to actually see curve and shape in a man is really, really
Beautiful figure. Now you have a beautiful figure to show you. How's the color? Do you wear reds?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing red on this right.
Yeah.
I'm wearing red.
Oh, you wear the t-shirt. Yeah. It looks great on you.
I like colors.
The flowers.
I do black, but rarely. I think people that have dark black hair, Asians, they put it off. They can actually kind of pull that black and make it more. I think black is not my favorite color. Like more the brighter blue,
Right.
shades, earthy shades. White is good. I like white. Blue is elegant. But black, I don't.
There's enough black around. That's okay. Enough people wearing only black colors, especially in.
Gray works out fine, but black. Now.
It does so much for you internally when you wear bright colors over when you wear black.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and then you can tell a difference in the person as well when they wear all black. They're generally more, almost like they're more hunkered down in themselves.
That's cool.
And then
You can
colors.
twist with an attitude, maybe you do some white, what have you, but you're right, and that's why we wear black to funerals and mourn death and things like that. Yeah.
You know what really cool is to create the contrast, you know, the black with white or black with red. You know, when you create a contrast, then it disappears. It becomes like just a
that's what you
void.
make it fun, yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a void, and then you bring forward whatever you want to bring with the other color. But yeah.
Oh my god. It is. It's funny, but it's so beautiful. It's not like you're not laughing at it. You're just laughing at the humor in it because it's so unexpected.
Like with the pants.
Yeah. What it's pins that When it's sewn and you wear it, you see the difference. Yeah.
It's an immense difference. The first time you see the piece sewn, it's all of a sudden everything has set in, so you can feel the actual form of the piece. It's really set. It's very structured, and the transformation is huge. So when you see it after it's done, you'll be able to feel the difference.
Very cool. Deconstructive, you know.
What's going to be your direction in terms of facial hair and things like that? How does that work?
You know, as we get closer, I'll let you know. Yeah,
Is that a big thing?
It is. It's about a big, I mean, I like this. This is good. Where you go now is good. But as we get closer, maybe we'll do something crazy, you know?
Yeah, so maybe, you know, you should give you a different kind of taste to kind of see.
Yeah. As we get closer, like,
It would be great to do something interesting. Yeah. Make a
that,
speed.
that really slick cut that people can do. But all it's very, very crisp.
Yeah. Yeah. That's excellent.
It's good.
Yeah,
Cool.
but we'll see.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
We'll see.